Well, let's talk about some of the issues that you would face as governor. You've been putting a major emphasis on improving affordable higher education,
That's
something
right.
near and dear to our hearts here at Volunteer State Community College. What's the first step that we need to take in making those improvements?
First step we need to do is change the goal of higher education. Right now, this wonderful university is funded based upon its enrollment. A portion of your funding should be based upon your graduation. Your job, in my mind, should be to graduate people and move them on to other parts of higher education, or have them a degree that they can go forward with in the job market. Tennessee is 43rd in the nation, based to the Census Bureau, on what's called educational attainment. That means 42 states have a higher percentage of their population with a degree. We have got to change that, because we're not only competing with those states, we're competing with other countries. And it is not an accident that we are 43rd in educational attainment and in the top 10 in unemployment in this country. That those two are the same, because the jobs that are easily moved offshore, easily taken away, when people cut back, they cut back in Tennessee. We've got a wonderful state, great road system, great environment, hardworking people, but we don't have an educated enough workforce. In my mind, we need to make it the job of those who are in higher ed to graduate people and to move them along and to do what it takes to get them graduated. And I'm going to bring that mindset to our colleges and universities. I'm going to restructure and reorganize a higher education to make it more efficient from a management standpoint. That means some people will be given more authority and other positions will disappear. But I believe in doing that. I want to do, but while we are doing that restructuring, I want to tell you what we need to do. There are over 30,000 Tennesseans who are within a year of graduating from college, a 4-year institution, who are no longer going to school. Now think about that. That's over 30,000. And we know who they are, and we know where they live, because they were enrolled in our schools. What we could do is take some of the lottery scholarship reserve funds. We have over $300 million. And in the next 2 years, make a one-time scholarship offer. Come back to school, and we're going to use these lottery funds for that. And if we just get 10,000 of them out of the 30,000 to come back, we'll no longer be 43rd in the nation in educational attainment. And this community, I would say Sumner County would probably have 400 or 500 more college graduates in Sumner County. And as great as Sumner County is, it would look different with 500 more college graduates. And I believe that is a quick way to remedy some of our problems. And then secondly, we're going to look at the barriers we put on people to get their education. Let me give you a very interesting statistic. We survey the parents of 5th, 6th, and 7th graders in this state. And when we do that survey, believe it or not, 90% of those parents or grandparents have an expectation that their child will go to college. It's not a hope, it's not a I wanna, there's an expectation there. But clearly, that's not happening.
Right.
What are we doing at this end of the equation? I know there's a lot happens between the 5th grade and graduation. But what are we doing at the community college end? What are we doing at the college end to put barriers to prevent people from getting started and getting them into the system? We have got to do that. And that's what a governor can do. A governor can lead and get that done.
Do you have any thoughts on how much of the lottery reserve a program like that would take?
I will be bringing the details of such a plan later,
Yeah.
and so people can measure what the situation will be. But we certainly don't want to do anything that would, of course, undermine the solvency of the lottery. But I truly believe that there is a better use for those funds than simply accruing interest in the bank right now.
Do you think the overall Hope Scholarship Program is working as it is now, the portion of it that is in place?
I am disappointed in aspects of the Hope Lottery Scholarship, and my record is clear on that when we created the Hope Lottery Scholarship. I felt that more people should be able to get the scholarship. I think that people who play the lottery ought to get the lottery scholarships. And if you think about it, the people who most often play the lottery are the least likely to get a benefit. I'm not sure it has accomplished what those proponents wanted, and that was keeping our best and brightest at home and keeping them in our colleges in our home. I would say to you that $4,000 is real good, but if Caroline Kyle has a chance to go to Duke or go to the University of Memphis, that $4,000 is not going to make her choose University of Memphis. We'll put her in Duke.
Right.
And we'll worry about that later. But that being said, I'm just an example. That's just a hypothetical. I believe the goal of the Hope Scholarship should be to raise the educational level of the whole state.
Sure.
That should be the policy and the goal, and all the decisions as to how big the scholarships are, who gets them, how you keep them. See, we've been designing this Hope Scholarship from the bottom up. It needs to be done from the top down. And I have, now you may say, well, what have you done to try to do that? Well, I lost those votes. I mean, I just simply lost those votes. The legislature chose to go a different direction. I'm gonna give them another chance. And I think when parents look and see that they'd have a chance to get some of that, that we'll do better. If you've got a governor saying yes, 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 try to get it done.
Obviously, we're losing some people, as you've noticed, between 6 and 12. What are your plans for restructuring the whole K-12 system?
First of all, we have to, in regards to K-12, we've put a lot of emphasis on K-12. I helped pass the pre-K program and stood on the Senate floor with 16 other senators and voted to fund it. There's lots of people who are for pre-K, but there was only 17 out of 33 who would vote for the revenue to pay for it. I believe that that we did a very good thing in regards to pre-K. But I will simply say to you, the K-12 system in Sumner County is really dependent upon the parents of the children in Sumner County demanding, not requesting, demanding an appropriate high school system. We have communities that are very demanding. Anderson County, for example, is a very demanding community for its situation. I believe that if that those who are watching can say, well, what is your governor going to do? Well, your governor is going to say, you need to stand up for your own children and, well, that's all right, the microphone, that's quite, you need to stand up for your own children and go down to that school board and demand a better education.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk a little bit about health care. It seems to be the hot topic throughout the country right now. Washington's likely going to make some changes in our current system that will have an effect on the state. If that happens, how will TennCare survive some of the federal government mandates? And of course, all of this is a little bit of speculation right now since nobody really knows where we're going.
It is a great deal of speculation, but let me speak to you in the idea of where we are on health care. When I first came to the General Assembly in 1983, over half the state budget on the pie chart that we used to pass out was for K-12 education. Half every tax dollar we collected. We proudly pointed that out. That has gotten down as low as in the mid to low 40s over the years. And the reason why that has gotten down to there is because of health care. Because health care continued taking more and more and more dollars. One of the most significant things that our governor has done, and one of the most difficult things, was to cap our health care expenses in the budget to 26%. That's all we're going to spend. And once we got that capped, that gives us a chance to get other things in order, if you would, grow things out. It is clear to me as somebody who lives in Memphis, Tennessee, that the state of Tennessee cannot alone manage the health care issue. Right. We have a hospital in Memphis, the Regional Medical Center. At one time, and it still may be, the Regional Medical Center in Memphis, Tennessee was the third largest Medicaid provider for the state of Mississippi.
Interesting.
Because of the people who came from Mississippi to the hospital. Now, here in Sumner County, as close as you are from folks in Kentucky, these are not barrier. When people are looking for health care, they're going to where they're going to go. We need a federal solution to health care.
Sure.
More so than to expect that each state can handle it on its own, because people do move from place to place and we're very a transient society and move forward. I'm sure y'all have the same problem we do with children coming in and out of your school system because they go down to the other state for a while, they go to another county for a while, or whatever the case may be. It's very much more transient than it used to be. The same thing is with health care. And so until the federal government says we are one nation, this is what the rules are, this is what we're all going to play by, we're never going to get it under control.